everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of the John and Wendy Show here on this lovely Friday afternoon, at least on the West Coast Friday afternoon. I am the Outlaw John Rocha, joined by the better half of this show, Wendy Lizani. How are you, Wendy?
Hey, I'm so good. I can't believe it's the weekend already. This is the Friday before the Comic-Con madness begins.
Woo, Comic-Con madness. We're going.
Mode.
I had a little bit of a tiff with a couple of friends of mine today about like what we're doing for Comic-Con, how that's all been scored away. So now I know we're in Comic-Con mode because the dysfunction is high, the scheduling is high, everything is super important, and want to figure out how to get to where and who's got to pay for what and what we got to do. So it is there on the table. So that makes me excited to feel this way again for a Comic-Con. And I'll be there the whole time. So if any of you are watching us or listening to us, if you see me, come say hi. I'll be masked up.
Yeah, I better recognize Rocha with the mask on.
Yeah, I'm going to put the little outlaw symbol on the front.
Oh, cute. We're getting down there Thursday a.m. and then we'll be there through AF. Friday.
Okay, Thursday.
Thursday AF. No, I don't have the ability to get down there Wednesday. I mean, I could.
Yeah, of course.
But that's a third night in the hotel, and it's just financially, I'm not putting in that much into Comic-Con this year because I'm also crossing my fingers for I don't know D23.
Oh, so yes.
That's kind of like where I would like to keep my money. Like if I have to book a hotel because I'm not approved yet. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know if you registered. Okay. So you should go. It's my favorite con out of all the cons. It's the most organized.
Is Reed Pop involved? Because I mean,
no.
Okay, that's good. Because I mean, I was looking at the Chicago one that's happening in August.
D23?
Yeah, no. There was a C2E2 that's happening. Conventions.
Is that Reed Pop as well?
Yes, it is Reed Pop, and they make it very clear. Just because you get a press badge, it doesn't mean dick.
Reed Pop people are nice. The people that I haven't interacted with, but that's one to 3, 4, 5 people that I've met throughout the years that don't have. They're not the overhead, is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
They don't get to
the people working on the ground. My experience
usually are the best.
Nice. Yes, always great because they understand it. They get it. They've been there. They're boots on the ground. But the people high above with these statements on their websites that say press doesn't guarantee anything, it's such an insult because it's like, well, look, we're giving you coverage. We're giving these things coverage, and that's important to highlight what's happening and not to be, I get in trouble sometimes with my mouth, Wendy, but not to be a little selective here, but someone with 15 followers and someone with 30,000 followers, they're two different things. Yes. So there has to be a kind of leniency allowed to give them access so that more people can get access to this kind of stuff and elevate the visibility of your show. It doesn't mean that 15 followers person can't do that. I'm just saying it's more, the odds are more in favor. The odds are in favor of the other thing happening. So
so it's kind of the same with Comic-Con too. Like I think you do get a little bit more.
If you know who the studio is, if you contact them,
you can reach out. But ultimately, from what I can understand, I discovered this after having a short conversation with someone who works in the publicity side of things, that it's still Comic-Con still calls the shots. Like you can call the studio, but like it's the con dedicates how many seats they can give out during a Hall H, and that can be limited, and they have to. It kind of sucks. I'm sure all the studio wants everybody, but it's like you want to think about exposure and who's going to give you the most eyes on whatever you're presenting. So you look at the big four, they're probably automatically in IGN, Nerdist, things like that, and that's no shade to those people because they've worked all very hard to get to where they are, but for some of the newer or smaller outlets like this, it's a little bit of a struggle, but you just keep trying and make waves and see what happens.
Exactly.
Get creative.
Certainly you'll be seeing some commentaries, some shows, some posts, all that stuff happening from Comic-Con next week from Wendy and I on our separate channels and what have you. So make sure you follow along as we do that. So,
and I think I think I might come back Saturday.
Oh wow! Okay.
It depends on how Hall H goes. If I'm able to get in, I'll stay for till the Marvel thing. If I can't, then I'll come home and I'll cover it from home. Yeah. Well, there's what's the point?
Fair enough.
I don't have a hotel for Saturday, Sunday. Too expensive.
That's true. I'm going to be hosting a panel on Thursday at 10 a.m., which is the first time ever that I'm hosting a panel at Comic-Con. So it's very nice to have that happen. It's for the Impact Winter Audible thing that's happened through Skybound. So they reached out last week and they asked me if I wanted to do it. And I'm like, hell yeah, let's have some fun with this. And so if any of you there want to stop by and watch the Outlaw moderator panel, feel free, 10 a.m. Thursday morning at Comic-Con. So
where in Comic-Con so they can know which room to find you in.
Oh, I don't know what room it's in.
Post it on your social media.
Yeah, I'm gonna post it on my social media once they actually send me like.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay.
Some what do you call it? Like so the I don't know, the press release.
Assets. Yeah.
Cool. So once they send me that, then yes, I will absolutely post. I'm looking right now and I don't see anything.
Okay.
Panel info. Yeah, I don't see anything here. So sorry about that. But yes, Thursday, look for Impact Winter. But there's a lot of installations like Dungeons and Dragons is doing some stuff.
Yeah, we're going to try to go.
Yeah. Collider is hosting a screening of Prey, I think Friday or Thursday night. I'm not sure. And so there's going to be a lot of things to do because it's kind of a chill con. The panels there, you can fill your day, but you don't have to fill your day. And so I like that option. I like that there are options this year that you can walk the floor, buy some shirts, and you're not missing out on this great panel that you could have been there for. It's a little more relaxed this year, which I kind of like, to be honest.
Yeah, like it.
Yeah.
Like it. Ambulance Soul says, this doesn't look like Fall Guys.
What?
Remember how last week they challenged us to? Well, I think maybe if we get to it like after Comic-Con, like everything's very hectic right. I mean, my setup is ready to go, but still,
you don't want to hear me. And I bought a monitor, a 4K monitor to add to the desk here, so that I can hook up the PS5 to that. And if I want to play more easily, right there, camera, boom, 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 boom. So this is what I'm setting up because Cheryl has been incessant about trying to get us to play Fall Guys on Twitch.
We should. It's fun.
Yeah, I mean, do people want to see me cussing for 2 hours? I don't know.
You can put a filter on yourself. You can PG-13 yourself.
Just put the angry emoji.
You're allowed what, 2? 3?
Are you allowed 2? Oh, is that what it is?
Is that PG-13?
Yes,
Movie
I think
rating?
2 PG-13.
Yeah.
And then 1 set of boobs, I think, or butt.
Yeah, but that's not happening.
But I'm not showing that. No one wants to see my man boobs, for God's sakes, my boobs. All right, anyway, let's keep going on. We're here to talk about fun things going on in the world of entertainment. And certainly we got a fun thing to talk about a little bit later on in what's trending. Wendy went to a Stray Kids concert, so I can't wait to hear about that experience. I know it was touch and go there with them possibly having COVID, but it was cleared. They were cleared, and the clips and stuff that I saw on Wendy's Instagram looked awesome. So I can't wait to talk to you about that for sure, Wendy. So, and remember, Streamlabs and you can send in is open, and your stream, your bits and your cheers, send them in as we go along here. We already have 25 of you joining us right now. So send them along as we go along here. All right, Wendy, where shall we start first?
Well, since last week we talked about like a smaller, more teasier trailer for the Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power show, now we have a more longer full-length trailer for the show. I remember last week I was kind of a little lukewarm, I would say, on it because and my reasoning was not that it didn't look good. It actually looks great. But it's just I don't know some of these characters and I don't feel super connected. Didn't really get too much, like of a story. But this one, talk about this one changing your mind a little bit, a lot bit.
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was great. I did a trailer reaction immediately when I woke up that morning because I saw some people's reactions that were really positive. I'm like, okay, I got to jump on and watch this thing. And I needed something to wash that Monsters trailer out of my brain. So I put this on and I had a great time. I love the look of this. And I loved the different characters because we got the dwarves, we got the elves, we got Galadriel, we got the Harfoots. We got so much in whatever that is flying through the sky. Some people think that's a wizard. I speculated it might be Sauron because we don't know who that is and the fire and all that. And the look of it is just absolutely gorgeous. And so I am 100% down. It's not Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings, and I'm okay with that. Let's see someone else come in and see what their interpretation of it is. So by the time that trailer was done, I immediately wanted to start the first episode. So that definitely accomplished its goal in my mind.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And seeing Galadriel in this, and I think her words that closed out the trailer was, "You have not seen what I've seen." It's
Yes.
eerie and it's intense, and you're like, "What have you seen, girl?" Yeah, I mean, we know a little bit, if you watch the, I guess, actual Lord of the Rings, but
Right.
this is
Right.
thousands of years. They're elves, they live a really long time,
Yeah.
forever. So this totally changed like the tone for me. Like this,
Yeah.
I'm so glad they put this one out because I was like, okay, I was kind of, you know, kind
Yeah.
of I'm gonna dip my toe in. I like Lord of the Rings. I like
Right.
the whole, fandom. Let me
Yeah.
just see. And then this one came out and I thought, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And to add to that wowness, I mean, Rachel Cushing liked it. So if Rachel liked it, that's kind of,
Yes.
I'm like, okay, I'm in the right mindset for this, and so it makes me even more excited. And not just the visuals of it all, but also you can sense the story here a little bit. They didn't give us the full story because it's a main teaser, not the trailer. But they gave us enough here to have a general idea of what we're going to be seeing. Like you said, Galadriel saying very clearly, when he's saying, "Oh, I'm done," we don't have to fight anymore. Put your sword down. It's all cool. She's like, "No, no, no. There's something darker coming, and you are getting soft by thinking that you don't need to be aware of this or vigilant about making sure this doesn't come back." Like you said, you haven't seen what I've seen, so it's like it's kind of symbolic too because of what we're seeing out in the world, this feeling, this impending sense of doom that so many people are living with nowadays. It's correlative or connective to what you see happening in this trailer. So I think it's going to resonate with a lot of people because of the subject matter of the show itself, at least from what I saw in the trailer.
I agree. And now I can't wait for
Yeah.
this to hit Amazon. I'm happy that it's streaming. Sometimes
Yeah.
they feel like they can tell this story in like the 2 hour, 2.5 hour block of a
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
movie. And I just think it's too extensive. Like there's going to be multiple storylines,
Yeah. Yeah. It's a
sort of
lot.
Game of Thrones type situation where you have this group and this group, and then sometimes they cross paths and interact, and how that elevates to this thing. I can't wait.
Yeah, exactly. Parkland Ninja says, Rocha, are you an elf? I am not.
Let's see those ears. Are they pointy?
Daryl says, Rocha of the race of men. I'm not. I'm a dwarf. That's who I connect with the most. That's why I love the Hobbits films so much. That's my people. The dwarves are my people, man. So that's who I connect to in the Lord of the Rings. Never toss a dwarf. I'm just it's my crew. That's my crew, the dwarves.
Yes.
I can sing that song. Not right now, but I would sing that song. Anyway. All right. So we'll see that coming. It's coming real soon, isn't it? Like September 2nd or something. We're not that far away, Wendy.
Yeah. No rest for us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. What are we on to next here, Wendy?
Well, J Mr. 22 says, I am really excited for the live action CG hybrid tentpole movie Lilo and Stitch will be coming to Disney Plus, which is exactly the next topic that we are going to talk about. And it is being helmed by the director, Dean Fleischer, of Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. If you guys haven't seen it and you're kind of like, oh, I don't know, it looks weird or it looks too kiddie, you take that thought and you push it to the back of your head. And if you're okay with going to the theaters, go ahead and check it out or watch it when it comes out on VOD. It is, gosh, what a story.
Yeah. No, I loved it. I've seen it twice now because I love the Marcel the Shell stuff. Jenny Slate, just such a genius comedian, doing so many things now. And she's coming into her own really as a voice in our entertainment pop culture. And that's a good thing. And this Marcel the Shell is such an uplifting, sweet film that's deceptively funny in certain moments, but also very heartwarming and touching, and just interesting how the journey that Marcel goes on. But also Isabella Rossellini is fantastic here as her grandmother, voicing the older Shell, and their connections and their conversations just decorate the film so well, and her interactions with the guy who lives there. And Dean Fleischer Camp coming in, I think it's the right guy who understands how to tell the Lilo and Stitch story in a live action way to help you connect with both of those characters.
Yeah, and it's perfect. I think that film is a great example of what we potentially could get with the Lilo and Stitch live action, because you kind of think about it, you're like, okay, are they going to take the animation and just do it, shot by shot? And can they capture that warm-hearted, it's all about Ohana, right? Can they capture that with this? You think they should, right? Because it's already established, and that's what we kind of hold on to when it comes to Lilo and Stitch. But I think with this director who kind of already did it with Marcel the Shell, I think it can easily do this one and give us, all feeling all warm and fuzzy inside. And I can't wait to see, visually how he wants to do it, because it wouldn't be the first time Disney's like live action have mixed a hybrid live action and a CG.
Right.
So it wouldn't be the first time. So I'm curious. I'm mostly curious on how they're going to make Stitch and the rest of the aliens look, who they're going to cast as Lilo, and if they'll make any changes to the script, or if they will leave it about the same with a couple of added things. So I'm very curious about. I'm excited though. I think this is a good director.
Like, do you add Tia Carrera in as the grandmother now instead of the mom? Like, do you play that game
instead of the sister?
Yeah. Instead of the sister. Sorry, instead of the sister. So
what if they did do that as a legacy thing?
Yeah, as a legacy thing. Because I mean, they brought in Ming-Na Wen to the Mulan live action, so why not bring her in to be a part of it as well? I mean, Tia's still acting, still doing her thing, so why not? It could be fun.
I love it.
Yeah, and plus, I mean, we just got I don't know if you guys saw the news there, but like Elvis crossed $100 million today at the box office. One of the rare, it says this in the headline, one of the rare superhero movies to cross $100 million. So we know that Stitch has an obsession with Elvis in the Lilo and Stitch movie. So you're still kind of connecting to something that's happening back again in the pop culture, this idea of Elvis being reborn again, in essence, in people's minds because of that movie. So it works on so many levels here. And it's I think another really fun step forward for Disney in these live action interpretations.
Absolutely. Sure. I love Lilo and Stitch, and I can't wait to see this movie come to life.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks to Cheryl, who has resubscribed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very kind. Thank you so much.
All right. What are we off to next here, Wendy?
Let's stay in the realm of Disney, but we're going to go into the MCU and talk a little bit about Black Panther Wakanda Forever and someone who will not be coming back to reprise his role in this film, and that is one Daniel Kaluuya. He played W'Kabi, I think is how you pronounce it, and basically best friend to T'Challa, and he was also in a relationship with, was it Okoye?
Yeah.
Yes. And I am actually kind of bummed hearing that he's not coming back, because one, I'm a fan of Daniel Kaluuya. The first time I saw him was actually in Get Out, and I was like, who is this? And I know he's probably has been acting long before Get Out, but that's when I first saw him, and I was like, oh my gosh, cast this man in everything.
Yeah.
So I liked his addition to Black Panther, and I would have really liked to see him again in Black Panther 2. And this isn't because like he's leaving because creative differences or anything weird like that. It's really just scheduling, which happens a lot. There's only one actor, and when they're offered several projects, sometimes they have to pick. So, but I was really looking forward to seeing more of him, and what kind of role his character would have had in the sequel, as well as, seeing that relationship continue between him and Okoye.
Yeah. I mean, it's a fascinating situation. Yesterday, Jeff and I talked about it on the hot mic, and a couple of people came in pretty hard in the comments when I was mentioning the fact that maybe he looked at the script or looked at the part and it wasn't for him, and it was kind of small from what he's been. Because I mean, in 2018, Daniel Kaluuya was still a name people were getting to know.
Mm-hmm.
Now, 4 years later, he's Judas and the Black Messiah Oscar winner. He's leading Nope with Jordan Peele. So he did do Get Out as well, but him coming back to now with a bigger kind of acclaim. So walking back into someone else's franchise, because it was very much Chadwick Boseman's franchise. Now it's going to be whoever, and they're not going to make you the Black Panther. Maybe he took a look at that part and was like, it's not really for me right now. Maybe it was scheduling, like he says, and certainly we've seen that used and not used in authentic situations. because everybody else seemed to be able to arrange their schedule just fine. Who were busy as well.
Yeah.
But he couldn't come back. So, I mean, there's possibility here. It's a little bit of a Hollywood PR thing. And somebody said like, oh, it's ridiculous. There's no way he could have been Black Panther. I'm like, that's not true. Remember, he was best friends with T'Challa.
And he's head of security there.
Head of security.
He would know everything about
Wakanda. Yeah. And the only reason he was put in jail or had is because he was mad that T'Challa did not kill the man who killed his father. And he was angry about that. And so when Killmonger showed up, in his grief, in his anger, in his frustration, he turns and makes a decision here. And who hasn't made a decision, an impetuous decision in a moment of stress or grief or anger that isn't the wisest decision? After the whole thing is over with Killmonger, maybe the death of T'Challa, if they address that in the movie, could have turned him around mentally, could have had him reassess things. And so now it's about him proving himself to Wakanda again and earning the mantle of Black Panther to defend the country he once turned against. That would be an incredible story if you could find a way to tell it. But obviously it's not the route they're going. So it wasn't. So the fact that he couldn't have possibly been Black Panther is ridiculous. You could have absolutely made it work. Redemption is a big thing in comics. So, so clearly for him, it just wasn't the right thing, or it was legitimately scheduling issues.
Yeah.
But, he's a busy guy. So that's also not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, and it also doesn't mean he won't ever be back. He's just not back for this one. And it really depends on where they take this. His name can still be mentioned in it. He's not going to be recast because he's too busy, to take this or whatever it may be. Like, that's Hollywood. Things come up, things happen. He was also, I think, something about the live action Barney movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so there is that. Like, just because it's not listed on his IMDb as pre-production or filming doesn't mean that things aren't being worked on. So.
Right. And nothing says he can't come back down the road, as you said, Wendy, and maybe he takes on the mantle of Killmonger from Michael B. Jordan, who's been killed. Ooh. So he becomes a villain in the third movie. That way you keep the specter of Killmonger still around, because you're going to be replacing Black Panther. So it's not a stretch to replace Killmonger. So we're just throwing it out there. So it's possible. So we shall see.
Yes.
All right. There you go. Anything else here? No Streamlabs, no bits and cheers. Send them in, ladies and gentlemen. Send in your support.
Don't you want our faces as your emotes?
Yeah. For God's sakes. Come on.
They're cute.
We are cute. All right. Where are we off to here?
Let's talk about something that actually just popped up on social media. And I was going to put this under trending, but I thought it was more important to put it in our main topics because this actress was not on social media, had taken a big hiatus after one of her tweets. And this is one Constance Wu, the star of Crazy Rich Asians, also the star of, or I guess one of the stars of Fresh Off the Boat. So she had tweeted just out of, being in an emotional state. She was basically, without getting too much into it, she was unhappy and felt frustration for the news of the renewal of her TV show, Fresh Off the Boat. And kind of, was just in a moment of anger or whatever, maybe grabbed her phone and tweeted about it. And she received some backlash. And she's since then, after that, she kind of went off the social media. She wasn't really doing any acting, especially after Hustle. And that is what, and we know that she is still the star of Crazy Rich Asian. So that like when the sequel comes out, Rachel will be back, played by Constance Wu. And she's a really, really good actress. So, and I kind of, it's funny, like a couple of weeks ago, I was kind of wondering, I was like, what's happening to her? Because I saw a trailer, was it Terminal List or something? Something on Amazon. I don't remember, but I saw her face and I was like, okay, good. So she's still acting. Maybe she just decided to take a break from social media, which, the backlash was pretty severe. And I believe she's tweeted like an apology for that. But anyways, it's been since 2019, and she just literally, I think yesterday, came back on social media, and she had this to say. It's pretty long, so I'm just going to read the first few sentences. But she says, "Hi everybody, I haven't been on social media in almost 3 years. To be honest, I'm a little scared, but I'm dipping my toe back in to say I'm here. And while I was gone, I wrote a book called Making a Scene. And this next part is hard. Next part is hard to talk about, but I was afraid of coming back on social media because I almost lost my life. from it. 3 years ago, I made a careless tweet about the renewal of my TV show, and it ignited outrage and internet shaming that got pretty severe. She goes on to say she felt awful about what she said, but here's the thing, and she was already getting all the comments, and I'm sure people sliding into her DM and saying some unsavory stuff, voicing their outrage at her. But here's the thing, she got a couple of DMs from fellow Asian actresses who told her she had become a blight on the Asian American community. And she actually attempted to end, she told on a live herself. Luckily, a friend found her and took her to the ER, and she has gone through therapy. She is tiptoeing back into social media, which can be a weird place to be. That's why there's that saying, don't read the comments.
Yes.
That's why we say that. And I'm not saying that to her. I'm just saying that's a saying that, you kind of like, people are like, so don't read the comments. And my thing is kind of, I'm like, no, how about you don't write the mean comments? How about you take a step back?
That's absolutely true as well. Yeah.
And how about that? So I feel terrible that that's something that she went through. That's pretty awful. That the internet drove her to that headspace. And you look at, a lot of fellow other actors that sometimes they didn't even tweet anything about anything. You kind of take a look at, Daisy Ridley was driven off social media. She just came back this year. Kelly Marie Tran, I don't think she's still back yet. I don't think she's ever gonna come back. I wouldn't if I were her, just to name a few. So she's back, and she's took a hiatus from acting, and I think now she is going to slowly go back and start acting again, hopefully. What are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, it's just something that's personal to me, certainly the mental health stuff, and having almost done the same thing in 2016 for my own reasons. I can understand that. I can understand being driven to a place where you want to do that. And, the strongest personalities sometimes can be the people who are closer to the line than you think, because they feel things on so many levels. And certainly someone like Constance Wu, who has, there have been stories about her behavior on set at times and with certain people. And so hopefully what this therapy addressed was the underlying issues that were making her feel this way, act this way, be in this headspace that led to the attempting of her life. And her friend thankfully was there to pick her up, just as I had two friends who took me to the ER as well at UCLA. And so, I understand it. And I feel a strong connection to it. And I hope she becomes a very strong advocate for mental health conversations. And I don't know the Asian community, Wendy, obviously, and maybe you can speak to this a little bit better than I can, but this idea of the stigma of mental health is certainly a big deal in the Latino
community. We don't talk about mental health. Exactly. We don't talk about it at all.
Right. There's this sense, like with the Latino community, there's a sense of it being about being a man and you can't handle your stuff. I don't know if it's the Asian community, if it's about, overachieving and achieving. And if this is the thing that bothers you, maybe that is seen as a negative as well. So it's weird within the communities like that, how that gets stigmatized in different ways, depending on the mentality of the community overall.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird for me because I kind of get placed in the too Asian or not Asian enough category. I kind of am on the fence. It's like with being born and raised in Taiwan, and you kind of grow up around the even if you're a girl, be tough. Crying is not good. You hide your emotion. You don't talk about that. Why are you crying? She's such a crybaby. Like my parents have said that to me. Oh, she cries over everything. And it's kind of like, I am a child. What do you want? What do you want from me?
She cries over everything. I'm 6.
Fall down, skid my knee, don't cry. She cries over everything. I'm bleeding. It's pain. How else do you want me to deal with it?
That's bone.
Basically it's oh god. Basically it's suck it up, don't say anything, don't cry. And that's the case for girls growing up, and I can't imagine what it's like for men in the family, right? But then I come over here to the States, immigrated to the US. Yeah. And it's different. You can talk about emotion here. Right. So, because you see your friends do it and you see your friends' family kind of be an advocate to tell me what's wrong. Or you watch Full House episodes. the music cues, and you're like, tell me what's wrong. They have a very heartfelt moment. Right. And as a child, you're like, I want that. So you go to your mom and you're like, hey, I want to talk about this. And the mom's like, I don't know what to do. My aunt was much better at it because she had been in the States for a long time.
So right. So she understood.
Yes. Yeah. So it was easier to talk to her, but that's a still learned thing. And I think that's why I still have a really hard time sometimes saying exactly how I feel. Like I kind of do oh no, if everything's fine. And I hide it behind a mask, like, oh, I'm tough and whatever. But inside I'm like, help. Yeah. So that's when she talked about that, I was like, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about, because we're told not to, to save face, in Chinese. That's how we say it. Jolien.
Oh, okay.
Save face and just be tough. Put on a front. You're tough. Nothing bothers you. You hold yourself in such a great, you present yourself in such a way. So
that's usually what leads to the cracks, isn't it? Because holding on tight so hard and, shutting down emotion and tamping down emotion, that's when the explosion comes. And when the explosion is triggered, and look, she said some pretty, kind of condescending things or kind of arrogant things, which I think she'd be willing to admit now. And in a moment of anger, a moment of frustration, she took to a public forum to express her frustration that she was actually going to be getting paid again to be a series regular on a primetime sitcom,
right?
Which most people would kill for.
Yeah.
And clearly she's in a different mentality because she aspires for more.
Yes.
So her perspective is different than, say, a struggling
She's
actor.
a really type A driven person, I think.
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I think
isn't.
She was like, exactly. You have to work hard in Hollywood to get,
especially if you're a woman of color, an Asian woman.
She's like punching down doors. She's like, I know I'm good. And so I love that for her. But, the tweet was quite insensitive when I read it. I did have kind of that reaction, but I didn't tweet at her. I was going to at her. Right. I was like, first of all, what are the chances of her seeing it? Secondly, she was getting so many tweets, and I was like, I don't need to add to this. But I do feel bad that in the DM, some fellow actors calling her rather than let's have a conversation about how she could have handled it.
Yeah.
To just calling, you're a blight on the community. It's like, and she obviously, who knows how many DMs that she got. She took it pretty hard. So I hope that she definitely was able to get help. I'm glad her friends were there.
Yep.
And that she comes back feeling refreshed, renewed, and continuing her career and just having maybe a different mindset when it comes to everything.
The best way back is just to prove that you're back and to prove that you're, a different person and you're working in a different way, and people will see it, and just you're naturally in a new place and a new headspace. People will see it. They'll see right to it. And they'll give you that credit for it that, you might be secretly wanting. So, yeah. Okay. Well, there we go. And we've gotten some
cheers, I think.
Some cheers here. Yeah. Travis Earl sent in a nice cheer here. Thank you very much, Travis. Appreciate it madly. You're a good man. AZ Badfish saying, just sending a little support. Happy Friday. Thank you.
Thank you. Good to see you here. The alarm worked.
Yes. _unfiction saying, cheers, 25 cheers. Nintendo's making its own movie studio. Could we get a Zelda movie there?
Oh my gosh, I want that so bad, but please don't screw it up. Zelda is so important to so many people. There could be the argument of, do you make Link talk? Do you keep him silent? How do you want to do it? Which storyline do you follow? How old is Link going to be?
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, we'll see for sure. But yeah, if you think getting Sonic right was stressful, wait till you tackle Zelda and wait till Chris Pratt tackles Mario.
Very curious about that.
Don't do the Russell Crowe accent, please, for the love of God. Don't do the Russell Crowe.
That was a Greek accent.
Was it Greek?
It's supposed to be Greek. I don't know. I don't know many people that speaks, that's that are from Greek with an accent. I've actually never met. So I read some articles that the accent is Greek.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe it sounds close to. Were you thinking Italian?
Yes, that's what I thought. Yeah, but you're right. It's a Greek god, so why wouldn't it have the Greek accent? But
yeah,
I don't know. That seems weird. All right. Yeah. So strange. All right. Let's move on here. We got some Russo brothers news here, Wendy, that I think is going to be very interesting for us to talk about. They had The Gray Man is coming out. It's out in theaters now. but it's coming out on Netflix next week. The reviews have been a bit mixed. Some people like Jermaine Lucier liking it. Some people on the other side not liking it. So a bit of a mixed response here. But they were asking, they were talking to him about talk to the Russo brothers about what's next for them if they're going to come back to Marvel. Could they direct a version of Secret Wars during an interview here? And they said, the Russo brothers talked about it. Our love for Marvel is based on the books that we read as kids, the books that we fell in love with, said Joe Russo. The one series that we adored growing up was Secret Wars. It's incredibly ambitious. It will be bigger than Infinity War and Endgame. That's for damn sure. But it's a massive undertaking. Those 2 movies were very hard to make. So trying to imagine making another 2 movies even bigger than those 2, we're going to have to sleep on that. So clearly they made it clear that, hey, this is a dream project of ours. But also saying that, this is going to take a lot out of us, already negotiating the money aspect of it all by saying, it's going to be an even bigger time commitment. So, we're going to maybe need to be paid a little bit more. That's the Hollywood speak undercurrent that's rolling through there. And I think they do well to come back to Marvel because they have not been that successful since they did Marvel outside of Marvel, because Cherry didn't do well, 21 Bridges didn't do well. This film isn't being received so far that well from the critics. So this would be a massive undertaking for sure. And knowing already that they would split it over 2 movies speaks volumes that they've thought about it. Yeah.
Oh, it's been thought about. I'm sure they're still in the... What if they're already doing it, like they're already signed on and we just don't know? Disney's like, you keep that quiet. And they're like, oh, don't worry. Because then they're going to get hounded. Every single interview for any projects that they do will turn into a Marvel, interview. As if that hasn't stopped since, Avengers Endgame and Infinity War. So I would love to see them back. Taking on another 2 major movie. But it's like these 2 guys... it's a lot to undertake. It's a big cast. It's a lot of stories. It's a lot. And as an example, I booked a commercial, just this really small role in a commercial, and the Russos directed it.
Yeah.
And their work ethic is just like, yes, they have fun on set, but it's like they're serious.
Yeah.
And it's go, 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 go. They know they have like these, it seems like they like the visualization they have. They're paying attention to everything. Yeah. There wasn't a day that I didn't see Joe or Anthony sitting in Video Village and and very just like, we got to do it like this.
Right.
So this is and that's just a commercial. Okay. That was I think it was a 3-4 day shoot for me. Right. I don't know if it was longer for other people. I think it was. Yeah. And now you scale that up times 100.
Right.
In a Marvel movie, in the big scale Secret Wars, that's going to be huge.
That's villains versus heroes on separate planets. It's
insane.
That's massive. So any number of things could happen here, and any number of characters could come back. So I'm throwing that out there as a possibility. So this has to be mapped out like crazy. But if it does start to lead us to Secret Wars, which a lot of people expect that it will, I think it'll clean up the Phase 4 feeling people have about this phase right now. That's a little bit
we talked about that last week. Yeah.
It's not 100% there. So it could now, in retrospect, kind of change people's minds. So we shall see for sure.
Absolutely. We'll find out more. Hey, Comic-Con's coming up. Marvel's got a slot in Hall H.
They do on Saturday.
Kevin Feige loves to... He's such a showman in the best way possible. I say that with so much love in my heart because I actually love when he presents.
Yeah.
Like there's a presence and you're just kind of like, all right, tell me everything you want to know. And I'm going to scream and I'm going to cry at the same time.
Exactly. Yeah. Plus D23 is coming up. So there'll be more to say as well on that situation.
Yeah.
Let's see here. We got any more Streamlabs? No Streamlabs yet, and no more cheers. So keep sending them in as we go along here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's move on to our next subject here, Wendy. Now this could be a bit spoiler for some people, so I'm letting you know now. This story came out on the Inverse about supposed Fantastic Four leak for Reed Richards casting. So. If you don't want to hear about that, maybe fast forward about 5 minutes or 3 minutes. But a lot of people are saying here on Reddit, you're seeing these comments from some reliable sources that Krasinski's not coming back. Bryce Dallas Howard is not directing the film. Jason Segel is not coming in to play the Thing.
So crushing all of my dreams. Great.
Yeah, and I'm sorry. They're looking for actors in their 20s to 30s. No surprise there, to be honest with you. And that apparently Simon Baker from The Mentalist and LA Confidential is wanted to possibly play the villain. Doesn't say it's Dr. Doom.
Oh.
Could, but it says it's a villain, so it could be anybody. Could be the Underminer. No, I'm joking. You just don't know. And these are the name that they're looking at for Reed Richards is Penn Badgley, who is the stalking criminal guy in that Netflix series of You. Yeah, exactly. So what are your thoughts on this, Wendy? Penn Badgley, does this excite you, him coming into the MCU as Reed Richards? Thoughts?
So my first knee-jerk reaction was, no. No.
All right.
I want John Krasinski.
Oh yeah,
and I want it now. It's I feel
that.
Multiverse of Madness already like put that in my head. I can't even call it headcanon because it's not something that I just wish it could happen. Like it actually happened.
It did happen. Yeah.
That's the thing is that universe it's not tied to any actual comic source material. It's literally a made up universe that none of them have to come back. Right. They don't want to. And maybe that's the speculation here. Maybe that's the deal. Krasinski's like, all right. The fans want it. I'll put on the suit once.
I'll have fun with it.
Have fun with it. Yeah. Like, 1 week, 2 week on set, however many days, however quick they're able to get those shots done. And then he's like, the fans should be satisfied. And also I didn't survive. So like, I'm out. And he could be out. Yeah. So it's possible. I'm surprised that there's even leaks about this at all. Yeah. And again, this is all rumor and it's not confirmed until Marvel or Disney or the actor's actual agency like confirms it. Right. But I after I like had my little internal argument with myself about still wanting John Krasinski in this, I went back and I kind of thought about Penn Badgley, and I was thinking, I was like, Gossip Girl, huh? Okay, because that's when I first saw him. I was like, Gossip Girl. But his character in You, it just makes me feel like he could actually take on Reed. Okay. And then I started to think about like, you add a little bit of like that streak in the hair. Yeah. And you're like, you know what? Maybe. And then I took a look at some of the other names that are thrown around that's in this article. Yeah. And my eyes stopped on Melissa Benoist, who plays Supergirl.
Yeah, these are the other names that are possibly thrown around for Fantastic Four. Logan Lerman, Freddie Carter, Melissa Benoist, Callan McAuliffe, Natalia Dyer from Strange Things, and Gerald Jerome. So, Wendy, I had the same reaction. Melissa Benoist made me stop cold because I was like, wait. Yep. I hadn't even considered.
You can see it now, can't you?
Yeah, I really can. Yeah, and she doesn't even have to have the bob. She can have the longer hair. She can do whatever she wants to do. Yes. It works age-wise with Penn. Yes. So I could totally see her being kind of a badass in the MCU as Sue Storm. Yeah.
I can totally see it. The two of them, I put their pictures next to each other, and I was like, you know what? It can work. Yeah. It can work. Age-wise, it works. And it makes sense that they're looking for somebody who could play younger. I mean, they are about 10 years younger than John Krasinski, I think. Maybe 8. But, with the MCU, and if you kind of look at what they did for, let's say, America Chavez, they cast her very young. Yes, technically, in the comic book, she is much older, but this gives Marvel the opportunity, just like what they did with Tom Holland, to let them grow with the series. So you don't have to keep recasting, because they're just gonna, and kids grow fast. Yeah, like the Xochitl Gomez. The first time I saw her, she was like 14, 15, Babysitters Club.
Oh yeah,
she was so much younger, and then I see her now as America Chavez, and I'm like, wow, she's grown. And then I see her, sometimes on the red carpets, if we happen to bump into each other at the premieres, and I'm like, oh my god, look at her, she's grown. Yeah. So they grow up fast. So I can see why they want to cast actors, and Melissa and Penn don't even look like they're their age. They could play so much younger. Right.
I think that's the gift.
And I think that's what they want.
Exactly. Yeah. And you want to sign them at an age where they can convey strength and understanding and control, but not at an age where they are over how can I say this? It's overwhelming their presence and their control. You want to cast them just in that prime moment, just in that prime, the beginning of their prime, so you can get at least three really good movies out of them in these characters before you wonder what you have to do with them. So I think this is the right age for these people to be cast in these roles. And someone mentioned Cena as the thing. Do you really believe Cena would be friends with Penn Badgley? It doesn't work. You'd have to look for somebody who's around the same age.
Yeah, I kind of learned this through.
Grimm is friends with them. He is not some kind of dude they just met, So
yeah, that's what I kind of like. My knowledge of Fantastic Four is a little bit limited. So when I was doing like a fantasy casting on another podcast, I kind of went for it because you think of The Thing and Michael Jackson, kind of, you kind of start casting these like, I guess, so-called more muscular, big build actors when that doesn't need to be the case because The Thing is big.
Yes.
But the person can look like an everyday man. It's supposed to look like an everyday man. Yeah. So yeah, like Cena doesn't make sense.
He's already big. Yeah.
As far as like physicality, if they want to be true to that. So.
Right.
But I mean, they could go that way.
He's got Peacemaker. I just don't.
Don't.
Why would you go to be the third in an ensemble, third on the cast list when you're the lead in Peacemaker? It doesn't make sense, career-wise. If I was a manager, I'd tell him, don't you dare.
Maybe he is like, I want to do it. I could be both.
That's why you got to save your quarterback from getting injured when they're hurt and running back out onto the field. I know you think you can do it. I'm telling you, you can't get out on that. I'm not going to let you get out on that field and hurt your career even more.
Yeah.
MK Somber said another Fantastic Four casting rumor on Reddit I saw was Jamie Dornan as Reed and Amanda Seyfried as Sue. Ooh, I like the Jamie Dornan thing.
Ooh.
I mean, coming off of I like him and Katrina Balfe from both of them from Belfast would be damn interesting as a Reed Richards and Sue Storm. So
what about Jamie Dornan as the BFF?
As the Thing? Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Can't you see him and Penn Badgley getting it on well? Yeah, I can see that.
That could be very, very interesting. Yeah,
I would love to see. I love Jamie Dornan.
Yeah, Jamie Dornan would be good. I think that would be very curious to see him play that way for sure.
Oh, okay. Like it.
We shall see. Yeah. I don't know what Avenging Pineapple is saying. Oh boy. Let's see. I don't know, what is he saying?
I don't
tell
know.
Off them liberals their fancified book learning. Oh God. All right, let's move on here. Wendy, see if I've got any more Streamlabs or any cheers. Oh yeah, Theral Fiction sent one up. Thank you, Theral. Said Anthony Starr as Dracula in Blade, waiting on San Diego Comic-Con. Yeah, Anthony coming off of third season of The Boys, which was great, as Homelander. There are rumors starting to sprout up that he could play
Anthony Starr, like The Boys.
Yeah, Homelander. Yeah, that he could play Dracula, the villain in Blade, which would be interesting because, no offense to the actor who played him in Blade Trinity, but that was not a good performance and not a good character that scared anybody at all. So having someone like Anthony Starr, who's already shown the ability to scare the hell out of you just from a look as Homelander in The Boys, I think would be a very interesting choice. Plus, he's a good-looking dude, but he's a good-looking dude with a little bit of a weird, sharper edge to his face, so it can make you feel a little uncomfortable. Yeah, so it's perfect as Dracula.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, I guess we'll find out. When is that panel? That's Marvel, so it's Saturday.
Saturday, yeah. Everything is set. DC and Marvel are Saturday. So, yeah, I'm going to spend Thursday, Friday, just like walking the floor, going to an occasional panel, seeing people, having drinks, hanging out. And then Saturday, somehow, got to get into that Hall H panel.
Yeah, we're gonna try, but we'll see if we get turned down. Then I'm gonna pack up and drive home, and then we'll just live stream from home. So
I'm gonna wear my security outfit and just walk through the back.
If you act like you're supposed to be there.
Yeah, exactly.
No, security is no joke at Comic-Con.
Robert Downey Jr.?
Some of these other cons, it's a little bit, sometimes I feel like some places are loosey-goosey. Comic-Con, impenetrable.
It's true. I'm here for Kevin Feige. I'm supposed to cover and make sure he's okay.
Talking to your wristwatch.
Yeah. Where am I?
In your earpiece.
Just keep doing this the whole time.
Yeah.
Where is he?
As they tell you, you're like,
yeah.
I don't have ice on him.
Be like Brad Pitt. Find me Johnson. Who's Johnson? Just find him.
What are you doing here? Go. And as they leave, you're like,
yeah, running right into the seat.
First run past the trash can, take the baseball cap off, throw it in the trash. Like that's how they do it in the movie.
Put on the beard.
Yeah, throw on a hoodie. All slick and stuff. Change your appearance.
They'd be the first one to ask a question. That would be great. Such a dick move all around.
Oh man, that's great.
I like the suggestion, Daryl, and we will find out at Comic-Con if they announce that one way or the other. Either they don't announce it or they do. So hopefully they will give us some more information for sure.
Yes.
All right, Wendy, I think that's all in that first section. We don't have anything.
Breaking news from what I can tell.
There's one thing I looked at here. One of your thoughts on this is really funny. Deadline posted this story with Harrison Ford and Chris Pratt.
Okay.
And of course, because Chris Pratt has the Terminal List that's out right now on Amazon Prime, also getting mixed reviews. But he was asked, Chris Pratt said that Harrison Ford said no Indiana Jones for him in an interview with Josh Horowitz, who of course was in the Schmodown. He works over at MTV. He said, all I know, Pratt continues, is once I saw a quote from Harrison Ford, and I don't even know if it was really him, but it was enough to scare me. That was like, when I die, Indiana Jones dies. And I'm like, am I going to get haunted by the ghost of Harrison Ford one day when he dies if I play Indiana Jones? So it's an interesting situation. So it seems, and Horowitz tweeted out a clip of saying, I'm no body language expert, but watch this video and tell me Chris Pratt did not talk to Steven Spielberg about taking over the Indiana Jones in some capacity. So I don't know. How do you? I feel like I don't know if I certainly wouldn't want to see it. And I agree. Yeah. I think once Harrison goes, the character should go, and that's that. Even though I know it was passed on, I don't think it should be passed on here. What do you think?
I mean, it's such an iconic role. We all associate it with only one person, and that's Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
I literally there are a few characters in the movies that we grew up with that I can't see the part being replayed or replaced by another actor. And I think I know people want to make more Indiana Jones, but it would have to be a pass the torch situation. And then but then how do you call that, right? Like, it's like still a part of the Indiana Jones series, but the lead character can't be called Indiana Jones because that's weird. But I think it's respectful of Chris Pratt to say what he said, and maybe that is there's one of two things. It's to divert and
attention away from it. Yeah, good point.
Yeah, it's kind of because he could be in talks.
Yeah.
Which wouldn't surprise me. Not currently, but like at least once upon a time.
Yeah. Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me at all, because we heard about that years ago, like him being a choice.
Right.
From people fan casting.
Yeah.
Not from actual studios. But another part of me can't see somebody else playing Harrison Ford's part. Indiana Jones. It wouldn't be the same.
It just wouldn't feel right. Yeah.
No.
So we'll see. All right. Well, let's move on to the next section of the show here and have some fun with that. So let's do it now as we talk about it. Boom. Yeah, man. What's trending? Let's get into it. Wendy Lee, take it away.
It's K-pop corner time, you guys. I love this part of the show where I get to talk to John's ears off about K-pop and force him to watch music videos. We'll start with some of the new releases first. From Twice, a group belonging to JYP, have released their 4th Japan album, and their new music video called Celebrate is out. And there's so many fans. The fans of Twice are called Once, are so excited because everybody was really worried that after this 3rd world tour, the girls got individual Instagram accounts, and everybody was like, okay, like they're supposed to be renewing the contract. What if they disband? And we don't have to worry because it seems like they're going to be together for longer. So that's really, really exciting. I feel like it's so like it's happy, it's a bop, and they're celebrating not just themselves, but I think they're celebrating their fans Once as well. So that's a fun one.
Yeah.
And then another mini comeback from also JYP group.
Yeah.
It just so happens they dropped within like days of each other, literally I think a day apart. ITZY has their comeback with a mini album, and they released their brand new music video called Sneakers.
Yeah.
And again, it's like for the summer, it's a bop, it's so cute, and ITZY is a powerhouse. Like they're, I would say, more of a dance focused group, but they can sing. Visuals are just undeniable 100%, and I love them, and I know they're gearing up for their first world tour, Checkmate. So I think I'm going. I'm not sure yet.
Yeah.
I think I'm going. Yeah.
Oh, you think? So, or what would stop you from going?
I don't know if the other person has that I'm going with has the tickets and we're confirmed, or like there's been talks.
Okay.
There's been talks. And then so we'll see. I think the concert won't be until October.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. The wallet's hurting from all the K-pop concerts. All right, we just went to Stray Kids. We bought merch. We spent the whole day at the venue, which we're gonna talk about in a second. ITZY is coming to the world tour. Like I want to go see them. I'm sure their show is fantastic.
Yeah.
So far, all the K-pop concerts I've gone to are JYP concerts. Stray Kids, JYP. Twice, JYP. ITZY, JYP. But here's the big one. I want to save my money for Blackpink. That is like my alt group.
Yeah.
That's it. I am a Blink to the core. So probably we'll try to drop some serious money to try to get floor. Like I want to be Barricade.
Wow.
But that would mean I probably have to drop $2,000.
What?
Barricade for Stray Kids, I think at the lowest was $700 or $800 if you're lucky.
Are you going to be able to handle this, Wendy? I got to ask a serious question here. You know, that's a lot of people slamming into you.
Oh no! It's no. This is K-pop concerts. Okay, let's go ahead and get into it. And
do it.
So you guys, go watch Twice's new video, Celebrate. Like and share and all that stuff. Let's help these girls out for ITZY as well. Sneakers. It's super cute. Let's talk about Stray Kids and let's talk about K-pop concerts.
Yeah,
this is my second one. In the past, I have gone to other concerts, and depending where you are, the crowd can get a little unruly. Depends on what kind of concert it is.
Yeah.
You know, like I've gone to Warped Tour and I've been like next to a mosh pit and like try to like mosh, and like my friends with their arms went and grabbed me. They're like, "Nope, you're not doing that. You will die." Told me straight out. No moshing for Wendy. I was like, "What?" They're like, "Nope, you're too little." You watch from this. Yeah, people took care of us.
People are crazy in those mosh pits.
Yeah, I didn't realize until I saw it. I was like, "Oh, you're bleeding." Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And there's mud all over you. That's sanitary. All right. So, but with K-pop concerts, it's very. The fans are super, for the most part, from what I see. I knock on wood, haven't had a bad experience yet.
Yeah.
But like, I guess the right person to ask would be Laura, because she has gone to all the BTS concerts, right? But from what I can tell, the fans are super respectful, and some of the unsavory parts of it is on the floor. If people do try to like inch closer, but security, the shows that I've gone to, the security are very, very good about like, no, you stay. Like actually at Twice, we weren't actually able to be Barricade.
Wow.
You have to stand in front of your seat, and they kept on checking your ticket. In fact, if you go to the bathroom, you don't have a ticket, you're not coming back in.
Wow.
Yeah, so you hope have your phone with you, because that almost happened to me.
Oh.
I was like, I'm gonna run out and get a bottle of water. I come back, they're like, "Where's your ticket?" I was like, well, because I didn't buy them. My friend didn't. I didn't have it. My friend had it, and they're like, "Well, you can't go." And I'm like, "It's starting." I don't know what else to tell you. He bought the tickets. He's not allowed to screenshot it because it said it on Ticketmaster. Don't screenshot your. So we didn't. He's like, "All right, go ahead." And I was like, "I just won't. I'm not going to the bathroom for the rest of the show." So finally got to see Stray Kids in LA. And like you were mentioning, John, like it was a bit of touch and go.
Yeah.
I almost cried because 3 of the members, Lino, Felix, and Ian, tested positive for COVID, and they had to postpone 2 of their dates, which was one was Atlanta and the other one was Fort Worth.
Right.
And I don't know if those have been rescheduled yet. I'm not really sure. I hope they have, but we were counting down the days and it was Friday night and they haven't canceled. And I was like, Warren, I think we're going to be okay, but we'll see, because that decision rides on, one, the 3 boys testing negative.
Right.
And no one else gets COVID.
Right.
So from what I understand, they were all in individual rooms, none of them shared rooms, so they all quarantined.
Yeah.
And the only communication was through group calls to just make sure they're safe, which means they're probably like having less fun because they can't they're so worried about all of this. But there was a tweet from Kia Forum, which is where the show was, and from Live Nation, like the show, LA show is back on. So I got to go. I got to take my light stick. I added stickers to it. My biases, Banchan and Felix.
Oh, nice. Look at that.
Yeah. And we went. So here's the thing about K-pop concerts.
Yeah.
Is it's you can just show up right before the show, which is 7:30. That's when it starts. And people were literally showing up. It was like 7:32 and people were like still arriving in their seats. And I was like, wow. I read, so really important when you go to a K-pop concert, read the website of the whatever venue you're going to and read all the rules. See what you're allowed to bring, what you're not allowed to bring, what time can you arrive, drop off, whatever, all of that's really important. What else? Whether or not you need a proof vaccination or negative COVID test, you have to just make sure. I got myself tested just in case because I couldn't find that anywhere. I'm like, let me just make sure. But parking open at 10 a.m. at the Forum, and the important part, because parking's whatever, but merch line opened at 12. So I dialed Warren. I was like, hey, merch opens at 12. We're getting there at 10.
Right.
And he's like, okay, let's do it. Because you have to, if you don't go there fast enough, early enough, they're going to sell out.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So we got there about 11. We waited in line for about an hour. And what's cool is, K-pop, the fans are super nice. And they're fans that show up with freebies and they'll just give you freebies. I got these cute little stickers of Felix.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they just hand out random stuff. Here you go, fellow stay. And it's, there's that connection that you have with complete strangers. Yeah, it's a community. Yeah. And we got the merch line. This is one of the merch that I got. It says Maniac. And where is it? It says Stray Kids on the sleeve here. And the light stick, there is another one sitting right there behind me that I got for Laura. Very cool.
Yeah,
it's in the box.
Wow, look at that.
Mint condition, because it was her first time going to see Stray Kids. She's not, she's hardcore ARMY, but she's like, I want to explore other K-pop bands. She texts me after the show, midnight. She's like, so I may have upgraded from casual to moderate fans. Can you buy me a light stick because they're all sold out? I was like, girl, I got you. So I bought her a light stick. I had mine. Warren had his. And after the merch line, which we got through by 12:30 or earlier, we had nothing to do, but there's no in and out for parking.
Right.
So there was a Sizzler across the street.
You went to Sizzler?
There was nothing else, Rocha. There was nothing else.
Please tell me there were other K-pop fans in the Sizzler, because that would just be perfect.
Okay. It's just a
cheese
picture
bread
for you.
And all these lights in the Sizzler. That would be genius.
And the fans, they dress up to the T.
I wasn't.
They dressed, it's like the music video and just hearts and just craziness all over. Yeah. So here's the thing: are you familiar with the Forum, where it is? It's in Inglewood.
Yes, in Inglewood. Yeah, I saw Prince there. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, way back when. It's $25 a ticket when he was doing that run. I know, I couldn't believe it. He was doing that run. Was it 25 nights in a row at the Inglewood Forum?
Insane.
I went twice at the beginning of the run and then at the end with a bunch of friends each time, which was great. And we sat way up there, but for $25 a ticket, I had a great shot of Prince.
You just listen. Yeah.
Yeah. And everybody, the guest special, Shaka Khan showed up. Shaka Khan, she showed up, and a bunch of other people were there. So it was a blast every single time. So yeah, I love the Forum. It's a great place to go see a concert.
Wow.
So you walked and got cheese bread, is what you're saying.
So I was looking at the Google Maps and I was like, all right, what's near us? Because I could sit in my car, but it was also going to be 90 something that day. Oof. So I didn't want to be running my AC the whole time because the gas is expensive.
Right.
So I was like, all right, we can walk somewhere. It's not that bad. And the only thing, because it's mostly residential on the other side.
Yeah.
So the two places that we could have chilled at that were right next to each other within a good, reasonable walking distance was a Starbucks and a Sizzlers. And I was like, great, Starbucks, easy. We'll just hang out. We don't have to even be inside if we don't want. If there's no seats, we'll be outside.
Right.
It's a drive-through.
Oof.
There is no seating. Luckily, we could walk up and order, but there is no seating. There is no shade. And I was like, all right, Sizzlers it is. So, it was about 1:00. I opened the door to Sizzlers.
Oh
I
my
haven't
God.
been in Sizzlers in years.
Yeah.
Years. All right.
Not since Burbank. Yeah.
I opened and I looked inside and I shut the door and I said, we're going to go sit in the car for like an hour and a half. He's like, why? And I said, it's Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
The church crowd.
Oh, yeah. It's
was there. And I was like, all right. So we turned around, went back to the car and just chilled. We got our Starbucks, chilled for a little bit, went back at 2:30. And it was still like, kind of like a mix in of church people. And like just a bunch of stays with their freaking light sticks and t-shirts and signs. Everybody ordering salad bars. The Sizzler staff's just like, who's performing tonight? We're all like Stray Kids. And they're like, what? People are filming TikToks, doing the dances, and I think the church people found it like fascinating because like a lot, especially like the older dads, they're like, what show is playing across the street? We're like Stray Kids. The who now? Stray Kids. Like, and they're like, what are they? We're like, oh, it's a group from South Korea. Oh. Okay, you guys have fun. They're like, oh, we will. Thanks. Yeah.
Well, they
so we stayed at Sizzlers for like 2 hours.
So they probably finished just dancing in church. So they get the vibe of it for sure.
They're just like, all right, you enjoy yourself, Like the stays, they weren't bothering anybody. Everybody mostly were just trying to look for AC and and whatnot. So that was it. And then we sat for the show, and then I screamed a lot. I'm surprised I didn't lose my voice. I sang very loudly to all the songs.
Wow. That's great.
They put on a show. They were just their energy. You know how as a performer, especially for live events, let's say Halloween Horror Nights, right?
Yeah.
Like I never told when I was a supervisor for Horror Nights, I never told Universal, don't listen to this. I'm gonna get in trouble. As a supervisor, I said, hey, so out of the gate, your energy level, I need you at 70. I don't want you at 100. I don't want you at 100 ever. Give me a solid 70 so I can have you for the whole night, for the whole run. Yep. And what do they do out of the gate? Straight 100%. And I'm like, no.
And then they get hoarse halfway through.
Yes. And they
get exhausted. Yeah.
Your muscles cramping. Now I got to send you up to Ock Health. It's no good. These guys out of the gate is 150 beginning to end.
Wow.
I have so many clips from the show and I'm like, how are they so insane? And keep in mind, 3 of them had just recovered from COVID.
Yeah.
Hadn't even been a week since they contracted COVID. Oof. And they're like on stage jumping, singing, rapping.
You can do that when you're young.
I guess so. Yeah, they're all 25 and under.
Yeah.
So
25, you're like, I'll figure it out.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. They can eat a lot too, and their body still looks fine. Doesn't matter. It's true. No, it was a really great experience, and I came home and like cried about it because I was so relieved because I was worried. I was really worried that I wasn't going to get to see
them. You cry about everything, as your mom said.
Apparently so. Yeah, more so now that I'm older.
Well, that's great. I'm glad you got to go, and it sounds like it was an awesome experience, full of adventures inside and outside the stadium. Yes. So that's pretty awesome for sure. Yeah. And so cool. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Go to a K-pop concert. Enjoy the hell out of this thing.
Yeah, have a good time.
Unique experience, and clearly an all-day experience if you want to make it an all-day experience. So
when was the last time you went to like probably not during COVID?
No, I don't remember the last time I went to a concert. I mean, the last concert that's coming into my mind was Paul McCartney.
Ooh.
Oh, it was James Taylor. Sorry, it was James Taylor earlier this year.
Oh, wow.
We went with my girlfriend and her sister and her boyfriend. Because they were tickets that had been postponed from November of the year before because of COVID. So we went earlier this year, and it was a great time. Jackson Browne opened for him, and then James Taylor came out. And I've seen James Taylor 7 times now.
Wow.
I love James Taylor. I don't care what mood you're in.
Yeah.
He will just take care of you. I love his music. He had a whole new show that I've never seen before. He had a light. James Taylor had a light show and like video and all this kind of stuff. It was an incredible show. I've seen him multiple times. I've seen him, on the stool with the guitar, singers, but I'd never seen a show like this that was a visceral audio-visual experience.
Love it.
And so it was great. So if even and I saw recently the new Paul McCartney tour that he's been doing, how he's weaving in clips from the Get Back documentary that was released. So he's singing along with John Lennon from the documentary at the same time, and it's fucking incredible. So
wow,
it's amazing what these geniuses in the audiovisual world can do to bring out now even more from these concerts. And seeing the clips I saw from your Stray Kids concert is blown away by the inventiveness of these people.
It's crazy. But one of the questions I had is when you went to your shows, do you remember if when you purchased a bottle of water or any sort of beverage in a bottle, they opened it for they don't let you keep the cap on?
Yeah, they don't let you keep the cap on because they don't want you throwing it as an object at people.
Yeah, I found that out and I said, why can't I have my cap? They're like, so you can't throw it. I was like, why would I want to throw a water bottle? They're like, because you're right in the head.
Yeah.
That's what the bartender said, not me.
Because you're level-headed.
And I was like, but why would you want to throw it? I was like, out of excitement. They're like, no, like on purpose, being mean. I'm like, why would you pay the money to come to a concert to try to harm an artist that you don't even care to see? Like, what a waste of money.
It's a weird thing. It's
weird, yeah. Because at the Bank of California, that's where we saw twice.
Yeah.
We had water bottles with the cap on, and we were barricaded. Nobody took it away.
Right.
And I was so nervous about my water spilling over because I'm klutzy like that.
Yeah.
I was really worried about it, but that they're like, yeah, that's like the thing. So I was like trying to juggle my sign, my light stick, my clear bag, and I'm just like, hold on a second. 50 million things.
Yeah.
My phone trying to take pictures. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to make sure that was like a blanket thing. I knew clear bag was a thing, but I didn't know about the water bottle.
Yeah, that's been happening lately in concerts. And I was actually listening to a podcast the other day where a guest was talking about that experience and having them take the top off. And it was the first time they'd ever experienced that as well. And I was like, it makes when they told me, I was like, makes all the sense in the world. There are a lot of idiots in the world. So I just took my water and left.
Nice.
All right. Daryl on Fiction sent us a cheer here. He says, Ms. Marvel ends with a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's awesome. Enjoy the weekend.
Thank you, Thorough and Fiction. Yes. And also thank you to the Zach Mendoza for resubscribing with Prime. Did you guys know that? If you have a Prime account, you can subscribe with your Prime account, which costs you nothing.
Yes, zero. Thank you very much. Appreciate that, Zach.
Yes. He says K-pop girl group Stacy has a comeback Tuesday. You guys should check them out. They are the future of K-pop, and they have no skips on their discography. Oh, I love Stacy. They're very young, but they're very, very good.
Okay. All right. There you go. Good suggestion. Thank you very much, Zach. Zach always follows along with you with these things, so it's great to have even more information. Thank you, Zach.
Gotta love it.
All right, let's end what's trending with another story here, Wendy. This one, a really curious one here. What's this all about?
The headline is interesting. That was a bit of a head scratcher. I saw it on Twitter first, actually.
Yeah.
And I was like, is this an actual thing? And there is an article on Variety for it. And the headline says thus: Gremlins director slams Baby Yoda as completely stolen and shamelessly copied. Wow. So that apparently is I never made the connection. I still don't.
Those are fighting words.
Yeah, those are. So filmmaker Joe Dante.
Yeah,
that's what he's saying, that Baby Yoda is nothing but a shameless ripoff of his creatures, particularly the main gremlin named Gizmo. And he says this, quote, I think the longevity of the film is really key to this one character, Gizmo, who is essentially like a baby. Which brings me, of course, to the subject of Baby Yoda, who is completely stolen and just out and out copied. Shameless, I would think. So I don't know if he meant copy, like both exhibit baby like behavior that is just a behavior. I don't know if he meant because there's big ears. I don't think the two look alike at all. Like, sure, they both have similar big ears, but they don't look alike. One is fuzzy, the other one is green and has some fuzz on his head,
right?
And I think acting wise, they don't really act the same either. And I've seen those, Gremlin films.
Yeah.
So that's just what I thought. And here are some of the reactions from Twitter. Because again, that's where I first saw it. I was like, this is interesting. Somebody did agree. Somebody said, I said this 3 years ago. And then a lot of people saying this similar thing in the thread here. Gremlins didn't come out until 1984.
Right.
By then, 1983 was Return of the Jedi, had already been in theaters. So if anything, Gizmo was a shameless ripoff of Yoda, hence Baby Yoda / Grogu.
Empire Strikes Back was the introduction of Yoda, and that was 4 years before Gremlins.
Yes.
So yeah.
So I think they're I don't know if is there a new Gremlins thing coming out?
Yeah, there's a new animated series coming out later this year that he's a consultant or executive producer on.
Okay.
But yeah, this seems like a long way to go for anger on this. To choose violence. This seems like a long way to go to choose violence on this.
It was just really interesting that he somehow. Oh, you okay?
All right, drop something. Go ahead.
I just thought that it's interesting that he somehow made the connection, because size-wise, yes, they're both small and young.
Yeah.
But Grogu is a descendant of whatever species Yoda is, which is still undetermined till this day.
Right.
And Gizmo, literally, if you get water on any of the Gremlins, turn into something else. And if you feed them after midnight, it's also something else. So it's like, could not be more. I would argue that, like, if you want to use like, was stolen, maybe you can, like, another example of Star Wars is maybe Ewoks, but even then they don't look similar other than they're fuzzy.
Yeah, exactly. So
very interesting comparison.
This seems like a long way to go to be upset about something. And this is coming later on this year. Gremlins Secrets of the Mogwai with Ming-Na Wen, because of course she's doing everything. James Hong, Beatty Wong, and Matthew Reese and Gabrielle Nevea Green. So I hope I said that right. Gabrielle Nevea Green. So yeah, very interesting stuff here. But Joe, come on, calm it down. We're all inspired by things. We're all driven by things. The creators, they used Yoda and just de-aged Yoda into a baby Yoda, so it really works. So for you to kind of say that, they're stealing the Gremlins thing, that's completely ludicrous, I think. And
one is not like the other.
Yeah, one is not like the other at all.
At all.
BC Knight saying, Joe Dante trying to stay relevant. No, I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. So yeah.
Really interesting take. So I thought that was interesting to close out the show
definitely
for today.
Don't steal, but don't accuse people of stealing when they haven't stolen.
Yes.
All right, last thing, reviews, recommendations. So Wendy, anything you got going on that you are enjoying right now?
Yeah, there, I gotta say, it's not really, I'll make this a review, and it's for a mobile game that I was kind of looking forward to. It's by Disney. It's called Mirrorverse. And it's essentially kind of what you think, so we know our usual Disney heroes and heroines of Belle or Ariel or from Pixar, Monsters Inc., right? And their storyline. But what if inside their mirror universe, they're all kind of joined together and they're kind of an alternative version of themselves? They're more warrior. They're all geared up. They got weapons. They can fight, and they're fighting against the greater evil. And that was the premise of this mobile game that had been announced for years, and I've been waiting forever to play. So I downloaded it. I've been playing a couple of weeks. I gotta tell you, the excitement wore off after like 4 days.
Oh no!
Yeah,
after 4 days, the excitement wore off. Oh.
It's a lot of the same thing. It's just not progressing forward as I thought it was going to be. Like, the storyline is cool, and it gives me a little like Genshin Impact a little bit, but like less. I feel like there's a little bit less to do. So you can collect new characters, and instead of wishing, you use crystals, and you kind of put in a crystal in the pot, and you can get perhaps a new character or a new power up or something like that. But I don't know. I was looking forward to this game so much, and I got tired of it so quickly. I still have it on my phone. I'm still gonna, get to the end of it or progress a little bit further. But I'm a little let down.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, I was looking forward to it a lot. I'm gonna cry about it.
Here we go. What am I watching? Is there anything we're watching? I don't know. We're watching anything new. There's nothing new, but I did see Vengeance last night, and I don't think I can drop a review, but I can say
I'm seeing
that.
I'm seeing that next week.
You are?
I don't
next
remember
week
when I'm seeing it.
Okay. Yeah, it comes out July 29th, so it's right around the corner. But yeah, there was
I'm going on the 25th.
Okay, 25th. They invited me to a screening of it last night here in San Diego. I went, and I really enjoyed it. And I didn't want, I didn't think I would enjoy it. I'm not the biggest BJ Novak fan as a lead. I don't mind him as a ensemble character, but as a lead, I was like, eh. And then I watched the movie and really enjoyed it. Boyd Holbrook was great. Ashton Kutcher is incredible in the movie. I couldn't believe it. And whatever diet he's on, I need to get on, because he's even skinnier than you've ever seen him before. He was fantastic.
Kutcher was,
yeah.
Oh no,
bone thin. So I was like, man, this is incredible. Not that, he needs to be bolted. I'm just saying to be able to get to that shape. But yeah, a very interesting murder mystery, fish out of water thriller that, as I said in my tweet, flips a switch halfway through because you're going along and you're like, okay, it's interesting. This is cool. I'm curious. It's fine. And then a switch gets flipped and you're like, all the way to the end. So it is really well done. And he wrote it and directed it. BJ Novak did, and stars in it. So that's a lot.
Yes.
And I think he does a masterful job in this movie. And so I recommend it. So if anybody wants to go see it, I highly recommend it. It's one you can wait to watch at home because really it's not that, it doesn't take advantage of the cinema necessarily. So if you wanted to wait, feel free, but watch this at some point because it's actually a damn good movie.
Oh, I can't wait. Nice. Yeah. And a shout out to Zach Mendoza for spamming some of our faces as our emotes. Yeah, look at those.
Thank you, Zach.
They're cute.
Appreciate
Subscribe
that.
so you get those. You can unlock them.
That's right.
They're super cute.
Have you seen Outlaw Season 2 Park? Well, we haven't gotten it yet in America, but yes, I was sent the screeners for this, so I will be watching it. So yeah, I'll be watching it at some point. I also got Making the Cut Season 3, so I'm definitely be watching that. So
that's your show.
I fucking love that show. So Tim Gunn's my guy. So I'm going to take a look at that one as well. So yeah, before I head off to Comic-Con rather, I'm going to try my best to watch the Outlaw Season 2 and Making the Cut Season 3. So yeah, I got
very nice.
And we did get a Streamlab that came through, so let me read that real quick from Phil. Hello, Phil. Good to see you, Phil. Happy Friday, John and Wendy. Great show as per usual. Really missed the Outlaws MCU rewatch show. Oh, thanks. We used to do that on stereo, Lindley and I. Question: any chance of writing again for Thor: Love and Thunder? See you soon in London, hopefully. Yeah, big up, Phil. Woo!
Nice. Thank you, Phil.
Yeah, I am going to London for Celebration. I bought the tickets. So
oh my gosh.
It cost me a shit ton of money, but I will be there.
But you also love being in that country.
I do. I love London.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be a joy to be there, but it was a pretty penny. So we haven't booked flights yet. We haven't booked hotel yet, but certainly that's coming in a little bit for sure. Once we decide how many days we want to go, because
Lily's going with you?
Oh yeah. Oh hell yeah.
Oh good.
I can't.
I figure she would want to go, even if she doesn't go to the con.
Yeah.
You just buy one ticket to Star Wars Celebration. She'll just venture on her own this.
Oh yeah, that's what she said. She's like, I'm not going to that. I'm going to wander to London and go see the sites. I'm like, honey, please go knock yourself out.
Enjoy. Eat the food, taking the sights.
Exactly. Yes. So yeah. But no, we're not going to come back together for Thor: Love and Thunder. Although she enjoyed it, she did go see it with me. But no, we're not coming together for that. But we will, in about 37 minutes on the channel, have a live Geek Buddies review of the channel on the YouTube channel, the Outlaw Nation YouTube channel. Michael Vogel and I will be breaking down Thor: Love and Thunder in a spoiler review live on the Outlaw Nation channel at 5 p.m. PT tonight. So in like 37 minutes, we'll be doing that. So Phil, if you want to stay up for that one, feel free. Okay. Anything else we want to say here, Wendy, before we wrap up?
Yeah, I just want to remind everybody that because Rocha and I will both be at Comic-Con next week, we unfortunately will not be able to do the show because if you guys have ever been to any sort of convention, it is insane. And that would mean also if we were going to do the show, we would have to try to find somewhere to live stream it. And that just, we love this show, but our schedule is going to match up. I just know it.
Yeah, exactly. And the other part of this is like I'm going to be doing Geek Buddy stuff there, but only because we're sharing a room together. So we will just record there in the room for people to listen to and enjoy. And I will say one thing before I wrap up. Tomorrow they are going to start the opening of 988. So for those of you who watch us and listen to us, 988 will now become our new nationwide number for suicide prevention here in the country, in the United States. So like you call 911 for emergency, you can call 988 if you're having an episode, if you're in a bad place, if you're questioning whether you should be live anymore, all these things. They have now made this a national service, so you can put a call in and someone can walk you through it. And I will say for someone like me who went through that in 2016, making that call to the National Suicide Prevention Hotline saved my life. So if any of you are watching or listening to us, please write this down, save it in your phone, for any of those days or moments where you are despondent and you're losing hope, make that call 988 and let them walk you through it. It might not change your mind, but it might. And if it does, we're all the better for it, because it means you stay alive and stay with us here on the planet. So just putting that out there for you all, something positive in the world going on here for you all. So just letting you know. And you can call or text, either one.
Great.
So they're open for that. So just wanted to let you all know that. Okay. All right. Let's get out of here. Thank you so much, Wendy. Much love to you. Please, another great show. Let people know what you got going on.
Thank you so much. I'll be at Comic-Con next week. I'm going to be attending the Her Universe Fashion Show. That is Thursday. Yes. I have a panel on Friday. I think it's 3 p.m. at the Marriott Marquis. And I have that on my social, but I'll probably repost it again as the date gets closer. Laura Seacrel will also be on the panel with me. So
nice.
I'm sure there will be some Army talk. we'll just hijack the whole panel. It's going to be just like Army centric. Has nothing to do with Comic-Con at all. No, it's called Help, I Am Lost in a Sea of Content. What do you do? How to navigate through all of that? If you want to become a podcaster, YouTuber, content creator,
right? How
do you add your voice to an ocean of things that already exist? So we're going to be talking about that on the panel, and then on my socials, Wendy Lee Zaney for anything and everything.
There you go. And coming out next week, Nope, as someone is reminding us here. Yeah, so look out for that.
You see it yet?
I see it Tuesday. Are you seeing it Tuesday?
I don't know. I have to email Universal.
Oh, okay.
I got to email them. Sometimes I have to do a little reminder.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm seeing it Tuesday, so you'll have my out of theater reaction on Tuesday night, and then I'm going to record a review with Griffin Schiller, my friend over there at Film Speak. We already talked about recording a review on it, so look for that coming out before. So just because it's Comic-Con doesn't mean the content stops, for God's sake.
Yes.
Got to get on it. So, all right, much love to you all. Thank you so much. Follow me at The Rocha Says on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. If you're watching this on YouTube, The Outlaw Nation on Twitch, watching it now, follow me at YouTube, youtube.com/John Rocha Says. Subscribe to the channel and my podcast, The Top 10, The Cinephiles, and The Geek Buddies. Today we dropped part 1 of Tootsie on The Cinephiles, so go ahead and listen to that. We have a lot, part 2 rather. We have a lot of fun talking about that one. All right, much love to you guys. Take care of yourselves. Be well, and we'll talk to you next time with another brand new episode of the John and Wendy Show. Peace.